Welcome to BitBoy Crypto.
We can't let anybody else find out who we are. My eyes are up here. I personally would not advise that strategy. Yeah. Bugs Bunny or Tweety Bird, how to make money in crypto.
Oh, you're killing me.
Oh, God. Oh, no. What are the chances of that? Close the show down. Close the show down, Terry. Golly, what?
Can somebody go get a napkin?
Hey,
Look at that.
use my sweat towel. Use my sweat towel. I use the same sweat towel every day, guys. I don't wash it. Yeah, look at this. Well, there's still a lot of energy drink in there. What a disaster. What if we were live right now?
Oh, yeah, we are.
Thank God, right before it went live, we did.
Mm.
What the frick? Now you can you can like see my reflection in here.
Everything's going to be sticky.
Is the show live?
Yeah, we're live.
Oh, welcome to BitBoy Crypto, the People's Channel, home of the BitSquad, the largest and greatest crypto community in all of the interwebs. No channel works harder to spill wild and watermelon bang energy drinks right as we go live than this one right here. So my name is Ben. We come to you live spilling drinks every day at 11:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Today is Friday, July 8th. I am happy to report we are not. I don't think we got canceled yesterday, so we're still good for the show today.
That was close.
Yeah, that was a close one. Yesterday was rough. Yesterday was rough. So anyways, guys, we're going to be looking at a lot of different stuff today. We're going to be taking a look at, people hodling Bitcoin. Like, what does that have to do with the market right now? Well, we're going to look at what happened in Japan. Some serious stuff going on in Japan. What does that have to do with, what's happening today in the markets? Do you want to clean that while I'm doing the show, BJ? Yeah, come on. That'll be a good bit. That'll be a good bit. Come, BJ, come. Yeah, come on, BJ. Thank you.
Clip that.
Yeah. Hey, BJ.
We can't hear you.
Oh, my gosh.
BJ, you did the compression too good on the mic, so nobody can hear you.
It's too good.
The accent.
No, Mr. Peter.
Oh, boy.
Oh, my gosh. We have such a good time around here.
We do.
So anyways, we're going to be look at this. We're going to be looking at an OpenSea Blacklist. What does that have to do with? That's going to be really, really fishy. There's an NFT meeting today, NFT platform meeting today here at BitBoy Crypto. So we're excited about that. You guys know kind of, we're going to be, partnering or part of what's going to be the biggest platform out there in the future. So you guys are definitely going to want to, I can't wait till you can start showing stuff from that. It's going to be absolutely phenomenal. And we're going to look at XRP partnering with Banxa. And we got Crypto Savvy on the show today.
Hey.
Crypto Savvy. That is everyone's favorite bear or everyone's favorite person to hate. But you got to give it to him. This guy showed me this Amazon chart months and months and months ago, and it's hit pretty much exactly so far. I still don't think his numbers are going to be accurate at the bottom, but we're going to be a lot closer to his numbers than I ever thought we would be. So, James Oil says, BJ, I would hate to have that name. He gave himself that name.
Yeah,
he
that's
gave
actually not his name. He chose it.
Yeah.
That'll tell you something about him.
Yeah, you guys know. It stands for the biscuit Jesus, they say.
Yeah. Well.
That is what they say.
Mm.
All right, well, let's go ahead and get started. We don't have like a lot of housekeeping stuff today. So let's go ahead and just get going with the show. Let's check out the markets. We're coming in 20,168 cryptos. We just recorded a video on dead coins. So you guys are definitely going to want to check that one out. I'm not sure when it's coming out. And we also have my interview with Desi the Robot is coming out tomorrow night at 7 p.m. You guys are definitely going to want to see that. The clips from that video are hilarious. Tristan made one that I literally laughed harder than I've laughed almost in my entire life, other than when I was messaging a person on LinkedIn and we only used the canned responses for like an entire hour conversation. And that was really fun. So that was the most I've laughed in years. Market cap, 960 billion. Didn't it get over $1 trillion last night? Let me go back into the C here. I think it got over $1 trillion last night. Let's see, what's this number here? 958. Maybe it was on CoinGecko, possibly went over $1 trillion. Saw Lark talking about that number. 82 billion in volume, the volume really high. And so we're going to be talking about, well, I guess really before Crypto Savvy comes on and tells you the price of Bitcoin is going to zero. No, he doesn't say zero. There's a lot of people out there that are backing up basically what Garrett told you yesterday, what Frank has been telling you, what I've been telling you, is that a move in the short term up is in the cards. And that is what we're seeing. It's some low IQ idiot on freaking Twitter. He said he literally showed his account And he showed that he sold all of his Bitcoin at 18,500 because we said Bitcoin was going down to $10,000 to $14,000. And now this guy is 100% sure that the price is going back to the moon now. You know, like, oh, they said it's going to 10, 14. These people are idiots. It went to 22 in like 3 days. Guys, that doesn't mean it's not going back down there. It is going down there. I'm very confident in that. I wouldn't say 100%, obviously, but I'm very confident, 75 to 80% sure that we are going to make new lows at some point in this market before November or before the end of, at least for the end of the year. And just because we have a relief rally, that doesn't mean the price is going up. And this is why newbies get wrecked. This is why people get wrecked, because all of a sudden they swing their entire momentum of what they think is going to happen on one price rise. Guys, Bitcoin rises 10% all the time. It happens all the time. That doesn't mean it's suddenly going to go back up 100%. And you have to look in the longer term, and you can't take that and be like, oh, he said price going lower. The price went up today, so obviously it's not going lower again. Many traders are in agreement on this. And I'm not a full-time trader by any stretch of the imagination. I've done very well trading. But what I will tell you is this relief rally, we've been talking about it for weeks. It had to come. It had to happen. And so what's the number? Garrett told you $28,000. I've told you $28,000. Frank has talked about $28,000. That is a very big number to highlight. If we were to get up over 30, then, hey, maybe if we got up over 30, we could kind of be like, maybe that was a bottom. Maybe somewhere between the false top theory and the standard bear market prices would happen. But the volume right now at $82 billion, as we see on CoinMarketCap, this is indicative that the move was strong yesterday. 21,800 was the number it needed to get above, and it cracked it. And the volume went up. That's a very strong indicator that the price is going to continue upwards for at least the near future. Many people giving you a 2 to 4 week range. So keep in mind, I would not go all in right now, but if you're leverage trading and you want to go long right now, I don't think that's a terribly bad proposition, but you need to be taking out, at 24,000, 25,000, 26,000, every $1,000 we get closer to 28, you should be taking profits on that trade. Bitcoin dominance up dramatically today, up over 1% in one day, 43.5%, and ETH dominance 15.6%. And here we go, looking at the Gwei, it's going to cost you 14.5 Paraguays to send an ETH transaction. Bitcoin right now still holding 21,900. And guys, do us a favor and make sure to smash the like button. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't care if you break your computer. I don't care. Just smash it as hard as you can.
It's a bear market.
Yeah. This is not technological advice. But we need the likes on the videos. They help us get more people in the chat, get them in here earlier. So you get to see the great content that we put out. And it also helps people to come, be involved in crypto. If you're watching on mobile, make sure to X out of the live chat, hit the like button, come back in. Smart TV, bottom left-hand corner screen, it'll say more actions or more options. Hit react, and then like this video. And I was really distracted by this guy's name. Ben the Peaceful Forage Garden Inhabitant. I think that means Ben the Gnome. Wasn't there a show called Ben the Gnome on Nickelodeon, maybe?
Could be.
Something like that.
Definitely not the same Ben.
Oh, did you see my yearbook picture I posted?
No.
So I found out that a mom on my youngest son's baseball team, and I went to elementary school together. She was a year younger than me. So she found her yearbook, and she sent my wife these pictures of me. And here is one. I tweeted a lot this morning. I was up at 5 a.m. There we go.
Wow.
That is Mr. Benji Armstrong. I went by
Benji.
Benji when I was in elementary school.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, and there he is. Now, fun story, like I told in this tweet, I failed my eyeglasses exam on purpose for attention.
Wow.
Does that shock anybody?
No.
No.
That actually tells a good story.
Well, and I would say, I think that my dad and my first stepmom, I think they kind of divorced almost over these glasses. So it was a bad situation because I lost them all the time and they were so expensive. And my dad had to pay for them because I was just like the child support or whatever. He had to pay for the glasses. And so I may have broken an entire family by one pair of glasses.
Wow.
So very sorry about that.
Wow.
We're all on good terms now. But anyway, so here we go. We got Bitcoin coming in at 22,000, Ethereum 1236. BNB 242, XRP 34.5, Cardano 47 cents. And I will tell you, I really think Cardano's got a good shot to move independent of the market over the next few months. There's a lot of stuff coming out about the hard fork, the implications of that. And every time they've had a hard fork, price has gone up, no matter what Bitcoin was doing, or at least the last several times. So in June of 2020, before Bitcoin really started making legs up towards the end of the summer, end of August, I think, Cardano started booming. So definitely pay attention to Cardano right now. I now put it as same as Ethereum, same as XRP. Good buys, I think, right now. Let's see here. Look at the top gainers of the last 24 hours here. 1inch Network. I guess that's based on the coverage it got from Tornado Cash, interested in buying them, up 7.6%. Aave on the heels of their GHO stablecoin announcement, up 7.5%. XDC Network, a lot of people like that who like XRP. Polygon up 7.5%. Neo, blast from the past. All it took is us talking about Net5 tokens on the channel yesterday, and it's now at a 5% increase. $9.26. What did Neo get up to in this bull run? It didn't hit an all-time high. No. I know that. Oh, that's year to date. Oh, yeah. It got up to $122. Not too bad. Not too shabby. I didn't know it got that high. What is this? Why can I not? It won't go to the peak. Saying 149. I didn't know Neo got close to making all-time highs again. But I bought Neo at $179 in 2017, or 2018 January. So Neo is a big loss in my portfolio overall. Bitcoin up 5%. So Bitcoin cracking the top gainers of the day. So, a lot going on in the crypto markets. Just quick touch on the week: Curve, Convex Finance, Polygon, Aave, Avalanche, Thorchain. A lot of these coins with 20% gains and up, which is definitely a good stuff here that we want to see. So, let me see if I can take some sips without spilling a drink.
Very well done.
How many times have I spilled a drink on the channel? 3? I think
Two or three. Not bad.
Always live every time.
All right, let's bring
bring the action. There he is. Pull him up over here.
What's up, Benji?
Not much, man. Yeah, I got a lot of comments that people said, well, I like the name Benji better. Yeah, well, they made fun of me when I was a kid for that name. So that's why I changed. Nice. So what is going on, man? It's good to see you. It's been a while since you've been on the channel. And obviously over this bear market, I have had to say for sure that you've been way more accurate than I thought you would be. I still don't think you're going to end up being accurate for your bottom or close to it, but we'll see. I would have said the same thing. I wouldn't have thought it would have got this low back last year, and now it has. Now, January, February, I starting to take a look like, it really could go down, between $10,000 and $20,000. But you've been have a number you've been saying all the time. What is your range for where you think the bottom's going to be?
I believe it'll be between 3 and 7,000, 2023. Yeah. And I think we're going to have a false bottom before that. And I'll show you guys that if I show the charts in a lot of bubble pops. That's what happens. You'll get a false bottom, which I believe to be, it might be the 10,000.
Yeah.
Get a nice rally, maybe even up to 20,000 before coming back down. Yeah. I think this bear market's going to be a lot longer than people think.
Yeah. So I also don't believe that. I'm very strict. I'm a strict 4-year cycle fundamentalist, and it has not steered me wrong so far. Of course, you believe it's actually more like a 10-year cycle, right?
I believe we just finished Bitcoin's first bull market, and we're in the actual first bear market. I do believe that.
Wow, that's intense. So why don't you show some of your charts so that people have an idea of what you're talking about here?
All right, let's get on screen share. It's going to be a little wanky because I only got one screen, so I'm on vacation, as you guys know. So
yeah, and guys, don't forget to go follow Crypto Savvy. Subscribe to his channel. TJ will drop that in the live chat.
Yes,
absolutely.
Sir.
All right, let's do this.
Okay.
All right, so there's my favorite chart.
Yep. Now, to be clear, to be clear, Crypto Savvy, you were the first person that showed this chart.
Yes, correct? The very first one. It was December 2nd. I made a video on it also. And I told you in the video people would claim it, and they're claiming it. So anyway,
I can back it up. He's been sending me this chart every week. So,
but you can see what was going on here. I was looking for an ABC correction back here, as you guys remember last time I was on your channel. But I did think we'd get a little lower before we got this, and I didn't think we'd go as high. But nevertheless, the structure is playing out. And this is what I'm talking about the false bottom here. Before it came back up, rallied everybody back in. And then the real bottom, this is when everyone usually sells. That's when everyone loses out because they give up hope after this one's broken. Yeah. And I think we're going to see the same thing over here. I really do. I could show you some other charts in here too, but one of the biggest, as you can see, it was titled the .com bubble scam washout, which all the crappy companies got washed out. As we can see, that's what's happening now. That's what I was talking about when I made the video. And then if you look at even like Sony over here, same thing. When this bubble popped, false bottom, came down, I believe we're going to see the same type thing. All these, I got it in Nintendo, a bunch of overhyped markets that this happened to, but it doesn't mean it's the end of the world. People think I'm calling Bitcoin to zero. You can see what happened to Amazon afterwards, but it took 10 years to break that all-time high. And if you look back at all these other bubble pops, they also took around 10 years before they broke the all-time high again. So crypto could get real boring for a while. Like I said, here's an Elliott wave count of a 5 waves finished structure, which there's 5 waves in wave 1. So this whole thing would be wave 1. We're in the first bear market. If I'm correct, of course, I could be 100% wrong. But even if I'm wrong, we still got a little bit closer to my 3,000 target than we did that $100,000 target everybody was calling. So just gonna say that. But anyway, this is why I think we could be seeing much lower. And actually, I have some targets that go, you know, here is my resistance line right here. I don't think we're going to get back above 24.5 right here. Again, I could be wrong if it does. I showed that in yesterday's video. I posted yesterday morning and was talking about the 22.5 getting hit, which we hit, got rejected. If we get above that 22.5, then 24.5 is about all I see. And I'll show you that in a smaller chart real quick.
Okay. Yeah, we've been looking at a max of, we've been looking at like a max of 28.
Okay. Yeah, I'm looking at 24.5. And reason being, that was the measured move here that we had right when we broke back over here in December. I called the 24.3, 24.5. And that's right where we hit. That's why I think this is going to become our resistance, because all of these measured move targets have later become resistance. And if we look at that as a big bull flag, you know, that gets me down to around the 6,800, or a bear flag, I'm sorry. And then after that, and that's measuring from the break right here. I talk about it on my channel all the time. When I do measured moves, I go from the break of the trend, which was right here. But if I take a higher one all the way to the top, that gets down to like $1,100. I'm not saying that's going to happen, but I mean, anything's possible, right? We're seeing that. And here, this one was a call I made on my last vacation, 17.7, which we went 17.5, whatever, but it was damn close. So right here is our resistance at 24.3, 24.5 range. If we get up there, I don't see it going much higher. Here's my 4-hour chart from yesterday. We hit the first target perfectly, which is also the 200 EMA on the 4-hour. Now, if we get above this, then I think we could see that 24.5, but obviously we'll have to see. We may come back all the way down back into the 20,000, 20,200 range before bouncing. But at any time, if we break this bottom trend line, then my targets are down here to 13.2, 7,000. Now, if we break above that 24.5 range, then unless we get back below, then I'll start looking for bullish targets. But until then, I remain looking for the bearish targets. So that's pretty much all I got for right now. So
all right, thanks for coming on. We'll see you. Bye.
But anyway, that's what I'm looking at. So
yeah. Well, there's some people in the chat made some comment. I saw some people in the chat saying things like, oh, I have my screen up. Why do you have my screen up? Oh, he's got to disconnect. Yeah, disconnect from your screen. So people were making comments. They said something like, don't ever bring this guy on again, blah, 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 blah. Look, guys, this is a reality. One of my biggest mistakes that I made in 2017, well, in 2018, was not listening to people who had those super bearish targets. And if I don't think it's going to go below 10,000, I think somewhere between 10 and 14, but I'm no fool. It can. It can. And when you give this mindset, thinking that it cannot go below a certain number, what that does
20,000, remember?
Yeah. Which one?
20.
20,000. Never below 20,000.
Yeah,
again,
exactly.
once it went above. That's
Exactly.
what everybody said. So.
That's what everybody said, because that was the history that we had, and that history has now been broken during this cycle. When you refuse to listen to people like that, if you remember when Crypto Savvy showed that chart, he said this was the false bottom. That's what washes people out, because you think it can't go below this, and then it goes up a little bit,
Right.
and then it goes below that, and then you're out of the market because you set yourself up with false expectations. You have to understand this is an unprecedented market. It hasn't been around for that long. And what really can we compare it to? And I do think it's a good comparison to look at the .com bubble. What I want to ask you, Crypto Savvy, is, when we talk about the great washout and all of these scam projects and bad projects going away, I've been of the opinion, I've been talking about the last couple of days, I hate when it's become a meme almost, like 99% of projects are going away. If you actually go look at CoinMarketCap, like over 90% of them are dead already. There's not 20,000 active cryptos out there. What is your take on that?
My take has always been, I mean, no matter what, you can make money trading altcoins. I don't want to say every single coin is going to die. There's going to be projects that probably make it, but first Bitcoin has to succeed. And a lot of people think that there's things that are going to overtake Bitcoin, which is possible, but I don't see anything succeeding if Bitcoin doesn't succeed. Yeah. Which that's a big if, and I'm not saying it's not going to succeed. I know people are going to be saying I said that, but I think there will be projects. We may not even know some of the projects that are going to be big in the future.
Yeah, I think that's true.
But that's my thought on it. So,
well, I think when it comes to Bitcoin, like, I understand what you're saying. Like, Bitcoin's got to survive, but I don't think Bitcoin has to stay number one. I think Bitcoin
just has to work.
Yeah. I look at it kind of like it's got to stay number one for what people see as a store of value in crypto. Like, its value is digital gold. It'll probably always stay number one in that niche or that area. But we know there's a lot faster things out there, different kinds of currencies. So let me ask you this. What would it take for you to admit that let's go back to last year, right? I said Bitcoin was going to 100K. Obviously that did not happen. Our time frame for the top of the market was perfect. But we missed the number. And so we, idiotically missed a chance to take out all our profits. But we talked last year and I said, what would it take? Because you were sending me all this bear stuff over the summer. What would it take for you to change your mind? And you said, well, Bitcoin would have to get back up above 50 or whatever it was. And it did. And then it went up to 69 and then it dropped. Yeah. What do you think at this point it would take for you to say, okay, well, at this point, my chart, which is just a theory, right? Like, what would it take for you to say my chart is now wrong and, oh man, now it is going to go bullish in the short term? Like, and when I say short term, I mean like the next 1 year.
A break at 33.
A break at 33. Okay. That's very specific. What's so significant about that number for you?
If you look at the Amazon chart, it happened in Amazon right at the second low. It never went above there. And I have that all measured out. I don't want to, it takes a lot of time to explain it, but 33. That's where I'm looking at it. We get a break, hold above. Now, I don't mean we get a wick up there and stay up there a couple days. We have to hold above 33 for, give it a week. Say a week.
Okay.
But then I would start looking at bullish targets.
Yeah, I had a question somebody mentioned in the chat. Just wanted to get your perspective on this. They were saying, how could Bitcoin trace along Amazon or a stock that issues new shares and splits and all that kind of stuff during the run up when Bitcoin obviously has a set supply?
It's market structure. That's what I look at. That's what I've always looked at. Markets move in certain patterns and it's based on human emotion. And basically, bubble pops are big money taking the little guys the money. And then if you look at the market structure in every bubble pop, it's almost always the exact same. And I know people think a bubble pop means it's over. It's a tulip bubble. It's just we had a housing market bubble pop. The housing market come back, but we had a bubble pop. That's what we're in right now. It's popping. It was over speculated. We had a lot of big names coming in and pumping it. And I have some charts on that too, but I won't show on this channel. I'm sure. I think I've sent it to you.
Well, yeah, I think you've probably secured a spot coming back on the show, at least during the bear market. When we go bullish, though, you're gone. You're out of here.
All right.
Okay. I'm going to kick you out. Well, Crypto Savvy, thank you so much for coming on today, enlightening with all this
I
stuff.
appreciate
This is very, very good information for people to hear, even if they disagree with you, for them to look at it and process it is important.
Right.
So, everybody, you can find his link down below in the chat, in the description. Anything you want to say before you go, Crypto Savvy?
No, I appreciate you having me on the channel, man. Yeah, and another thing too with all the haters and stuff. I mean, it doesn't matter if you're a bull or a bear, you're gonna have haters. It is what it is, and so
Very true.
it's all good.
Very true.
It's
Well,
more
awesome, man. Well, I always
motivation,
enjoy
man.
talking to you. I'll catch you on Twitter when you see some more charts. Okay. Well, that was fun. That was good.
Yeah.
I certainly didn't want to have him on the show like a year ago.
Yeah.
I didn't want him to come on the show and have to say that, like, oh, his bear stuff was right. But I mean, you got to give the guy credit at this point. He's been dead on for this bear market so far. So, all right, move on to Twitter Buzz here. Let's go. RBC says Rogers is experiencing a Canada-wide outage, which is affecting ATM usage, point of sale online, and mobile banking. Well, here's what I would say to that. I would ask the question and say, are they testing something?
Mm-hmm.
Are they testing something, seeing what would happen? We know in Ukraine, obviously, and in Russia, they had to go through a lot of these bank runs. And this kind of came out of the blue in Canada. So I had to be watching out for this. I think I'm going to probably book my Canada trip today, I think. So I'm going to be going to Canada here in a couple weeks. So I'll make sure to bring some cash. Wait, do they take cash there? American cash?
Canadian dollars?
I think they take US dollars.
Well, they probably will because its
Like at
exchange
Walmart or
rate
something.
is decent.
They have
so.
different kinds of credit cards, though, I think, up there.
Hmm.
I think they do. I think maybe some are universal, but Canada is like bizarro world to me because it's so close to America, like in terms of everything about it, except it's not America. And so, like, you go there, you go into the grocery store, like all the aisles are a little bit different. You're still looking at the Lay's potato chips, but it's like ketchup chips, And the craziest thing to me about Canada, is, and it's not crazy, I understand it. I'm not saying it's crazy, but like the thing I was shocked about, they do not use self-checkouts in Canada. Did you know that? Did we talk about this before?
No.
Yeah, they don't. So I went to Walmart. I was in Hamilton, and I went to Walmart. It was about 2.5 years ago, and right before the pandemic. And I walked in, and the lines were so long at the checkouts. It's like, I ain't got time for this. And I looked at the self-checkouts. I said, it's completely empty. And so I went through, and people were giving me dirty looks and looking at me like I'm a dirty American, I guess. And they don't do it because it takes jobs away. So they refuse to use the self-checkouts in all of those places.
Chat does not agree with you.
No, well, you can say you disagree with me, but I experienced it, and I talked to people there about it, and they said, yes, we do not like to use the self-checkouts because it takes away jobs. So, well, y'all are on the wrong side of it then, guys.
I was gonna say, maybe, well, these are Canadians.
Yeah,
talking.
of course they exist there,
just where
and
you
you may use them, but I talked to several people there about this, and they all said the exact same thing. So maybe it's Hamilton. Maybe only Ontario is patriotic as Canadians. But it made sense to me. They were like, you know what? I think that that's good that they're trying to keep jobs there. So, anyways, all right, let's go next one. Norway has warned of possible electricity rationing next year. Germany has warned of possible natural gas rationing. This is bad. I saw that Rand tweeted that in South Africa they don't get to use electricity for 10 hours a day or something. Did you see that?
No.
Let me pull up his I hate pulling up Rand's Twitter. I hate Rand.
No, you don't.
I know. I like Rand. He's a good guy. Known Rand for a while. He's good people. Let's see here. Where did he say this? I disagree with this, by the way. He said the 150,000 Mt. Gox Bitcoin being released into the market's a huge deal. It's not being released right now all at once. It's 2022. And in South Africa, we don't have electricity for 10 hours of every day. You show that? Or no?
Yeah, give me a second.
Oh, okay.
Doesn't
Well, you
work.
don't have to.
Yeah.
Yeah, there it is. So there's the tweet right there. And this kind of goes along with what the Twitter Buzz tweet was saying, which we can pull that back up now. How many BJs does it take to get this right?
Well, getting out of the Twitter section and getting back into
well, I'll remember that next time.
Yeah.
We're trying to, we got more. So we have a new TikTok segment coming, and it's going to be awesome. I can't wait for that. So here we go. We got another tweet. Corey Clipstein, which you guys know I roasted him a couple weeks ago. He actually sent me a DM. Should I respond to it?
Yeah.
I should probably respond to it. He took it like a champ. So it helped launch 10 ICOs in 2018 as president of DNA Fund. Fun Token, Workcoin, millions of money into. Oh, this guy's calling him out. Who is this? Trevor BTC. Is that Parabolic Trav?
I don't know.
Parabolic Trav. That guy disappeared for a long time. I wonder if it's the same guy. Millions of money in tokens sold to retail. Nick Carter invested in Web3 startups with no tokens. And Toxie Maxis are mad at Nick. WTF timeline is this? Well, that is very interesting. I'd say I would need to look into that a little bit more to know if that was true and what his involvement was on this. But if that is true, then that takes away a lot of his leverage for calling people out. Now, look, I also want to say this. You can be, so it says Toronto literally has self-checkouts for dollar stores. They have them. They're all over the place. My point was I was the only person in a store where there were 20 people in lines and no one using them. And that was the explanation to me. So they exist. There were 4 self-checkouts there. Nobody says they don't have self-checkouts. But like, I got to say this about Corey. Like, you can certainly do stuff in one way and then like mature or change and then be against that thing you were doing. I one time used drugs every day of my life, right? Like 15 years later, it would be 15 years at the end of this month. I look back and, I definitely judge people who use drugs now. You know what I'm saying? Like, I did it. It was bad. I shouldn't have been doing it. I ended up changing my life, went into a coma, the whole 9 yards. You guys know the story. And I came out on the other side of it. But the fact is that now, because I'm on the other side of it, now it gives me a different perspective for what I was doing and what people that are doing what I was doing are doing now. So just because someone did something at some point, but if there was financial gain made during that time, and he's judging other people for, doing the same thing that he did, that definitely does add a hypocritical streak to it, for sure.
And have you been following a lot of that drama?
With Nick Carter?
With the Maxis attacking him.
It's so stupid.
Yeah.
I just
and they always,
I know about it.
Yeah, I know about it loosely too.
Back. All right. Go ahead.
And they always take it a little too far. I think even Peter McCormick was calling some of that out about.
God, what Peter's calling them out.
Yeah. They're taking personal shots and it's, I don't know, it's ugly. And I think that's kind of what this guy is saying too, is like, throwing stones in a glass house kind of thing.
Yeah.
I think that's it.
Okay. God, people are really mad at me about this self-checkout thing.
Yeah.
We've talked about this on the channel 3 times before. Nobody's ever responded like this.
I think you said
I said they don't use self-checkouts.
No, you said it doesn't exist there. And I think that's what's getting people.
I said, did I say that?
I'm pretty sure.
I might have said using self-checkouts doesn't exist. I did not say self-checkouts don't exist. I'm pretty sure. Somebody clip it. Somebody go find it. And Corey Clippin seen it. So one guy commented, he said, I used to use drugs too. He says, I still do, but I also used to. That's a good one. That's a good one. I hope you get help, sir, if you need it.
Interesting. We did the poll here.
Yeah.
Where do the people think the bottom is? 17, 14, 10, 7 or lower? It's pretty split. A lot of people in that 14K
Well, I
range.
think that's because that's the top range number we've been giving on the channel for a while. So people are probably
10% think 7K or lower. That's pretty big percentage.
Well, the thing is that when it comes to looking at a bottom potentially for Bitcoin, why did I say that's so weird?
For Bitcoin.
Bitcoin. Go look at some of my memes I made at the beginning of the channel. I like Bitcoin. And I think that what this shows is good, though. This shows that our audience is listening and they don't want it to go down below. But this tells me that most people on here are prepared if it does. And I think I love seeing those kind of wins on the channel when collectively it looks like people are prepared for what's coming. I think that's really good. So, all right, you've been milking those tweets like a freaking Amish guy. I like that. Or the polls.
Well, it's not.
You milk polls hard.
It's
TJ.
Not me. It's Nick. He's the one who does them.
Oh, Nick's the one milking the polls.
Which makes a lot more sense.
Does make a lot more sense. Yeah, he knows how to get every last drop out of it. So, moving on. Looking at the Bitcoin chart here. Let's see if I pull up the weekly here. Pull up the weekly. Our green dot is still in existence here. Frankie's going to be doing a video on market Cipher here pretty soon. Going to go on my channel. just so you guys know. And don't forget to go check out all of our channels. You can find them on our YouTube homepage. Bitcoin traders expect a generational bottom,
Boom.
but BTC derivatives data disagrees. A descending triangle pattern has been pressuring Bitcoin for the past 3 weeks. And while some traders cite this as a bullish reversal pattern, 19,000 support remains a crucial level to determine the bull's fate, which we're above this now, guys. We are above this now at this point. Despite the apparent lack of a clear bottom, Bitcoin derivatives metrics significantly improved. Bitcoin futures premiums flipped slightly positive, which is good news. But this is what I'll tell you on this, is that a lot of this stuff is going to be skewed by the chaos we've been seeing on the markets over the last few weeks.
Yep.
You're going to have a lot of people who simply deleveraged to get their money off exchanges. I believe that's what we've seen. So you got to take all the derivatives data that we're seeing here and all of the analytics and fundamentals across Bitcoin and take that into consideration. But it doesn't mean what a lot of these people are trying to tell you that it means right now because of a lot of unknown factors. So Deezer says, what did you mean they are testing something with regard to the Rogers outage here in Canada? Well, a lot of times when, people when the government, bad actors, when they want to roll something out, like, I don't know, maybe a pandemic, maybe a cyber pandemic, maybe an electrical outage, maybe a bank outage, maybe a food shortage, whatever it's going to be, sometimes they might just go ahead and throw something out there to see how the people react to it, right? And that's what I meant by that is, who knows what they're doing? Look, CCP has got a lot of ties to the Canadian government and the Canadian business infrastructure. That is well documented. I've actually seen some documents that I should not be able to see. I will tell you that. Actual like scanned paper, not emails, not anything digital, from a report that came out several years ago. And I can confirm to you that the Canadian government does know that China has infiltrated their borders a good bit. And so when you start thinking about that and you look at what happened with Trudeau and the truckers and all that, Canada is not the beacon of freedom right now that a lot of people might think that it is. Well, I would argue a lot of people in Canada know it's not a beacon of freedom, but at least the smart people there. So who knows what they're testing or what they're testing for, but we have seen this kind of stuff before. Go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, just loosely, just stepping back, if you're trying to slow down on a bank run, having temporary outages here and there where you need them could be an efficient tool.
Daryl Inda says, yesterday you suggested Uphold could go lower insolvent. You think Uphold is in trouble? I have nothing to think. I have no reason to think Uphold is in trouble. It is not a top-tier exchange. Sam Bankman-Fried has said there's 4 top-tier exchanges. They're all solvent. Everything else is on the borderline. How much does he know? What is he trying to control? What is he trying to manipulate? I'm not sure. So you could certainly take that with a grain of salt, what he said. But I do believe to totally deny or totally throw out what he said is also not wise. So I'll go back to what I've been telling you guys for weeks now. You should be acting as if every exchange is insolvent. I'm pretty sure you can trust Coinbase. Pretty sure you can trust FTX. Pretty sure you can trust Binance. Pretty sure you can trust Gemini. Pretty sure you can trust Crypto.com. Outside of that, I don't think you can trust any of them. And so it's not that I'm specifically calling out Uphold and saying Uphold is bad or they have bad practices. I'm just saying in general. I will tell you this. I did have someone email me and say that for the first time ever on Uphold, that one of their withdrawals got put on
review
for 12 hours. It had always been instant before. So there's a sign. Maybe something's changing there. But I'm not telling you that Uphold's a bad company. I'm not telling you KuCoin's a bad company. I'm just telling you, if you don't get the point right now that you can't trust these exchanges, I don't know what I can do to drive it further home to you.
Right.
So,
and the big thing is, like, somebody was asking, like, oh, I like to use this to trade this little bit amount. If you're trading, that's one thing. We were just saying, get anything you plan to hold for a long time off, and know there might be a possibility that anything you have on there could get stuck.
Somebody says Kraken's fine.
Yeah.
But
I thought you said, maybe you didn't.
What's that?
I thought you did say
I don't think I said Kraken just
maybe
now.
you didn't.
Kraken's fine. We have inside information on that one. We do know the Kraken is.
They sat on their cash the whole bull run.
Yeah.
They didn't do any marketing. And that's actually a funny story.
Yeah.
I'll have to tell you that later.
I don't think Kraken's ever going to get on that top level. like above a Coinbase and Binance or an FTX. But they have their ducks in a row over there. So I think you can trust them. But look, I mean, they've had a lot of leverage trading scam wicks over there too. So, you know.
And you're looking at, too, the people that understand the movements of Bitcoin better than anybody. All of those, Sam Bankman-Fried, Jesse Powell, even Brian Armstrong, they've been in Bitcoin a long time.
Yep.
They know the cycles, and they know how to plan.
Yeah.
You know, CZ, did I say that?
Yeah. So he says ByBit safe. Same thing. Same exact thing. Like, if you got money on there you're trading, I think it'll be okay. But I can't guarantee you it's going to be okay. But if you're going to trade, you don't have another option pretty much. If you're going to trade, I mean, you're going to use VMEX, you're going to use KuCoin, you're going to use ByBit, you're going to trade what's available to you. and you don't have an option to do it really in a way to protect your crypto at all times. So, but traders by nature are not risk averse.
Right.
So
they're not the ones asking.
Survey shows 55% of investors chose to hodl as Bitcoin altcoin prices collapsed. Now, I'm very curious when they consider this crash happening, just this last few months, probably. Crypto and equity markets are down, and aside from the positive news of Celsius repaying all of their debt and avoiding massive liquidation.
No.
That's not a true statement.
It's not.
They didn't pay off all of their debt.
They repaid one of their loans.
I think it's 2 loans they repaid, I believe.
Yeah. But they still have a lot more debt.
But guess what, guys? Hey, they didn't unfreeze your withdrawals. What should that tell you? Yeah. There are a few on-the-spot reasons that are prompting investors to buy Bitcoin and altcoins. The collapse of numerous DeFi protocols and crypto trading funds weighs on sentiment. Light Crypto says, I wonder how many followers this guy has. I always like to look because I have no idea who some of these people are. 166,000. Okay, that's a big account. Expect people will shift from comatose state of fear to realization that tens of billions of dollars in forced spot selling were a capitulation risk transfer rivaled only by the pandemic crash. Well, what about the freaking Mt. Gox crash? Like, we've seen other drastic crashes before. Can I take my XRP off Uphold? If not, where can I, if I live in America? You can remove your XRP from Uphold. Thank you for super chat. You can actually, just to get it off there quickly, if you wanted to, you can, and I want everybody to understand this, you can send or receive XRP with Coinbase. You cannot trade it there. So you can still send it. This is actually the advice I gave to my dad yesterday. He's like, you know, should I take this money off ByBit? I was like, yeah, take it off ByBit. He's like, well, it's XRP. What do I do with it? I said, send it to Coinbase. He's like, oh, you can do that? I was like, yeah, you can do that.
Just can't buy it.
You can't buy it or trade it.
Do you know if it's in the Coinbase wallet as well?
I believe it is. Yeah, I'm very confident.
That'd be even
somebody
better.
says it's not. I'm very confident it is in there.
That'd be even better.
Yeah, Coinbase wallet would be great. But just to do it quickly, you know, move it over to Coinbase, and you can figure out what you want to do with a hardware wallet or whatever. When it comes to how American investors respond to the broad pullback across financial markets, Appneo found that 65% of respondents held their investments and remain confident in their choice. Bitcoin has now entered oversold territory. But if you look, and see, this is really big, guys, okay? When you look at this, let me do my, see if I do what I used to do here before. Here. Okay, double click here, make this bigger. What was that super chat? Do you think Robinhood's a good choice to buy? Were there 2 super chats or that the only one?
No, there's another one.
Three Arrows Capital just bought 10.5 million of FTX tokens. Murder Research was Voyager 376 billion. We talked about that yesterday on the show. A lot of sketchy stuff with that. And then Jay Escamilla writes, do you think Robinhood's now a good choice to buy and hold crypto because they have wallets and the ability to send and receive crypto? I will never advocate Robinhood as a positive place to buy crypto. It's just not. So if you look here, what you'll notice is every time it gets into this this zone, why is it there? Okay, so every time it gets in the green zone, in this oversold zone, why don't you take a look at this, guys? It stays there for a while. It stays there for a while. So what this article is really trying to indicate is, hey, this might be a great time to get in because the price is going back up. History does not show that. History does not show that it's very, very quick and moves on. Okay, history shows it will probably spend a good amount of time here backing up. You know,
actually,
the traditional 4-year market. What?
It shows it goes up and comes back down almost every single time from where that bottom. You get the relief rally, drop, and then maybe one or two more, drop again. Like,
well, and also look, it almost always touches it. Well, it's always gone underneath the zone.
Mm-hmm.
And right now we're kind of in the middle of it, indicating another leg down. right. Move on here. Don't say.
Crypto Cyclops said, "Happy Friday, fellas. Thanks for another week of great content. So many people appreciate the education and entertainment."
Nothing like edutainment, fellas and ladies. Glad being back this week. Really excited. I'll be gone next Friday. Then the Monday and Tuesday because I got C12 on that Tuesday. You know when I come back, so that sucks. But I mean, I like C12. But and then I'll be gone for a day at the end of the month and a couple days in August. So I'm pretty much here for the next 2 months straight. So or month and a half at least. So, but guys, look, I really appreciate you guys who when the hosts that are not as good as me are on here, like Frank and DZ. I'm just kidding. But I really appreciate the support for you guys to come watch the show those days. Even if you just come watch it and turn it on so the numbers at least stay somewhat consistent. Maybe you go do other stuff. I know my dad says, like, it's hard for me to watch when you're not on there. It's my dad, He was here in the studio yesterday, by the way, doing very well from his chemotherapy. Continue to appreciate, the prayers for that. I think we got about 6 more weeks before he gets retested. But, let's show these guys support when they're on here doing my work. This is what allows me to be able to continue doing what I'm doing for the long term, is to be able to have some breaks here and there. As you guys know, I was working 80 hours a week on this channel for, months and months and months in early 2020. And I've always put out, at least 50 or 60 hours every single week into this. So it's good to get a break and to be able to enjoy some of the work, but I'm still here for the people, and that's what's important. Gunnar Ostendorp, we will be having a video out on that next week.
He asked about the Ledger Nano X, and some people...
I think the S is the cheaper one, right?
I believe.
I actually prefer the Ledger Nano S.
Yeah.
To be honest, I have both. Ledger Nano S, I believe, is actually the better wallet. You
And
can't hold tons of different coins at one time on one, so you may have to have different ones if you have a wide portfolio.
But I was going to say they do support XRP, so if you want to withdraw to
Absolutely.
a hardware wallet, that's a good option.
And Jay Kaz, he replies on Twitter a lot to me, sports guy. He says, I did everything wrong. I invested everything. I had 100K on Voyager, most expensive lesson of my life. You still got time to make it up, guys. Remember it. No matter how much money you lost, you still have time to make it up. We're still early enough. This bear market is showing that. What bear market consumer confidence higher among crypto owners than normies? That's interesting. I think that's because as crypto investors, we basically have the advantage of knowing we've been through this many times before.
Yeah.
A lot of people who've been investing in the stock market for 20 years or 15 years have never experienced anything like this. Jobs report. U.S. job growth beats expectations. Unemployment rate holds at 3.6%. This guy right here. This guy, he's a very thin guy.
He is.
I don't know if he's a fun guy, but he's definitely a thin guy.
I don't think he is.
U.S. job growth increased more than expected. This is not good, guys. Once again, this is bad news.
Yeah.
This is bad news. The fact is we don't want job growth right now because I want you to think about this. As we are heading into a recession, as we start to get inflation pulling back towards more deflationary, which will happen over the next few months, surely it'll happen over the next few months. Maybe this month, maybe next month, maybe September. But the point is, this is going to lead to a bigger jobs market crash. It's just like the housing market. Let's think about the housing market right now, right? For a year, the realtors told us there's not going to be a crash in housing. It's going to go up forever. They say that every single time. Realtors are some of my favorite people because they love to come in the chat and talk about, like, I know nothing about housing markets. And then they want to say, it's going to basically keep going up forever. The fundamentals are great. There's more people being born. No, I'm sorry. I'm smarter than a lot of y'all. Not all of y'all, of course.
Most of them.
I'm
not a big, well, never mind.
Yeah. Now, we have realtors we like. We work with some realtors. And there's certainly people that are realtors that are great people. Love them. But I've found that realtors, more than any other group of people, like to think that they're the only people that understand what they know. And it's just not true, guys. It's actually easy. There's a reason why you don't have to have a college degree to be a realtor. I'm not saying I'm not saying it's not a great job.
You do in Texas.
Do you in Texas? Well, in Georgia, you don't.
Yeah. No, most states you don't.
Most
I
states
will
you don't.
say
not that having a college degree makes you smarter than anybody either, but
no. But when it comes to real estate, you've heard that 80-20 rule, right? Where it's like 80% of the activity gets 20% of results, 20% gets 80. Basically, 20% of the people in real estate do 80% of the transactions.
Exactly.
The other 80%.
And you were a realtor yourself. More proof of why I don't like realtors.
Exactly.
But yeah, so it's just like housing market, right? When the housing market is good, right? All these houses are getting built. We just looked at about 3 or 4 months ago about how we had now exceeded the 2008 bubble in terms of houses being built, right? Then guess what happens? Now we're getting a pullback. So now you're in a place where they could not make enough houses. Now they've got tons of houses in development. And now the interest rate has increased up to like 6.25%, possibly heading up to 8% for mortgages. And now people can't afford the down payment. So now you're going to have empty houses sitting everywhere that they're not going to be able to sell. Very similar. So what that means is when it crashes, it's going to crash harder because you put so much out there. This is why and once again, I see a low IQ person in the chat. Low IQ person in the chat says, Ben, you said before that bad jobs numbers are bad. Now you're saying good job numbers are bad. You are an idiot. No, you have to have the concept of the timeline and where you're at in a market to determine whether those numbers are good or bad, whether they're good or bad. Right now, you don't want job growth because we're going to get a giant pullback. And now there's going to be way more jobs out there than we can fill when companies start to have to lay people off, and it's going to wreck the economy more. That's what you have to understand about this. We've been talking about this for 3 months here. Ever since we've been in pretty much what we consider to be full-blown recession. Even the Atlanta Fed has now said full-blown recession. So that's what's going on here with this jobs report. That's why we don't want the number to be good right now. It would be much better if it was consistent or barely
down.
Went up, right? And
or
what was
down would be even better.
What's that?
Or down would be even better.
Well, think about this number. Guys. Jobs getting created, way more jobs right now. Over the last 4 months, our not prediction, estimation, the United States estimation for our GDP growth has dropped from 2.8% this year to 1.7%. Our economy has almost cut in half the estimate for what it's going to do this year. And yet we're creating more jobs. The numbers don't make sense. You have to have a wide grasp of how all these things play into each other.
And basically the Fed's pretty much indirectly said they're going to continue to raise the rate until that number starts to go down. So
Exactly.
they're going to keep turning up the pain until that number goes down.
Yes. U.S. publishes fact sheet on global crypto regulation. The Treasury has outlined that the government's involvement with international regulators. The publication notes that the government has been active in international fora and bilateral partnerships on various issues. Today's report was published by the Treasury. Other agencies were also involved in its composition, including the Secretary of State, Secretary of Commerce, and the administrator of the U.S. Agency for International Development. So there you go. So they're going to be working, this is a result of the executive order that Joe Biden, wanted done, or whoever controls him wanted it done anyways. Assassination of Japan's Shinzo Abe stuns world leaders. What?
Two days in a row we're on assassinations, which YouTube hates.
Yeah, I know. Well, I'm sure they'll allow it today because it's a big story. But what's so interesting is we were just talking about this yesterday. Yeah. We just talked about how you can actually predict when these things are going to happen through data. And somebody sent me a message. They sent me the story and they're like, this is really weird. You were talking about this yesterday. And I was like, yeah. When I first read the story, I heard he had been shot. And I think his dad was also shot as well, or attempted to get shot, something like that. And I was like, I saw it like 5 a.m. in the morning. And later in the day, I was like, oh, that was an assassination. We were just talking about that. That's really eerie stuff,
It is.
So, but anyways, this is what happened. Friday's shocking assassination of Japan's former prime minister, Shinzo Abe, in one of the world's safest countries, stunned leaders and drew condemnation, with Iran calling it an act of terrorism, while Spain slammed the cowardly attack. And you guys know that, mass shootings have all been, been in the news, all kinds of different places, different things. There's one in Chicago, whatever, yada, yada, yada. And you have all these other countries out there, America should be like us and not have any guns ever. Every single day there's a freaking national shoot, or there's a multi-person shoot, what do they call it?
Mass shooting.
Mass shooting, or a shooting or an assassination or something of this nature across the world. Guys, everybody has guns here. In a lot of places, only the bad guys have guns. Like, that's the big difference, folks.
Yeah, it's one of the safest places on earth, America.
Yeah, I tell you what, I feel safer where I live than anywhere else. I'll tell you that much. You come to my house in the middle of the night, you're gonna have a big problem. I'll tell you that. Got him in the back of the demon today. I'm actually going to the shooting range later.
Hey.
Okay. Let's see. NHK public broadcaster aired dramatic footage of Abe giving a speech outside of a train station in the western city of Nara. In the NHK video, security guards are seen leaping on top of a man in a gray shirt who lies face down on the pavement. A double-barreled device that appeared to be a handmade gun is seen on the ground. So handmade. People will find a way, guys. They will find a way. I'm sure they're illegal there. Police have arrested a suspected gunman at the scene under Japanese law. Possession of firearms as well as certain kinds of knives and other weapons like blowguns is illegal without a special license. Importing them is also illegal. So here we go, guys. Japanese law says possession of firearms as well as certain kinds of knives and other weapons like blowguns, illegal, totally illegal, against the law. Still happens. In China, however, Abe's shooting triggered unfavorable comments from tens of thousands of nationalist citizens on social media. And we did have also, I think Joe Biden said he was so mad he was shaking.
Really?
I think he said that. Let me go see what he said. I think it was on Twitter. Because overnight, the big thing was like Donald Trump had made comments on it. Like all these people had made comments on it. Joe Biden hadn't. That was like a tweet people were talking about. But then this morning I saw somewhere that he was, that he said something about it. Let me see here. That was 11 hours ago. Joe Biden says the assassination of Shinzo Abe is a problem of gun violence. This is perhaps the stupidest thing he's ever said, and that is saying something. Yeah, that's true. Here it is. I'm stunned, outraged, and deeply saddened by the news that my friend Abe Shinzo, formerly Prime Minister of Japan, was shot and killed. He was a champion of the friendship between our people. The United States stands with Japan in this moment of grief. Yeah, nothing wrong with that statement, I don't think. Nothing wrong with that statement there. But I would certainly say to guys, at some point, you have to realize there are evil people. Like, that's the fact. Hitler was just alive like 80 years ago, guys. We're not that far. Your grandparents were still alive when Hitler was doing business, okay? To think that we can legislate away human morality when evil exists in the world, it's just not possible. That's why you have to take your own protection into your own hands. The same way we talk about banking yourself, being responsible for your financial assets, you need to be responsible for your lives and your families. That's the way I believe, and that's the way I run my life. So this stuff is going to happen from time to time. It's very sad. There's a reason why assassinations are predictable. The same reason every other crime is predictable, because evil exists and people do bad things. And if you haven't figured that out yet, then switch places with me and go on crypto Twitter and you'll realize it in 5 minutes. I'll tell you that. Crypto Cyclops says, did y'all put thought into the BitSquad ambassador idea? Could have a few well-trained in each state host events. Could them zoom in and talk? It's not a bad idea.
Yeah, it's an interesting idea.
Interesting idea. We are right now, I was in our Kings meeting for Pluto Alliance, our Pluto Alliance Discord last night. I'm going to be doing a Q&A once a month in our Pluto Alliance Discord for an hour. People can, it's going to be voice, so people can ask questions and I'll ask or I'll answer. And then also, we are doing a cruise next year, April 17th through the 21st. I think it's the V2 Pluto Alliance holders. I think they get the option to either get money or go on the cruise, something like that. But I made the big announcement last night. I'm going on the cruise. So April 17th through 21st, 2023. I will be on that cruise. So if you want to come to a cruise, I think we can reserve up to 120 rooms or something like that. Come join the Pluto Alliance Discord and find out more about that. So there we go. OpenSea blacklisted $27 million worth of NFTs, including Bored Ape Yacht Club and Mutant Ape Yacht Club, which, as we all know, both of those are on Ethereum. Obviously, only an idiot would think otherwise. Leading NFT marketplace OpenSea reportedly blacklisted some major NFT collections valued at over $27 million. Well, I got to tell you, TJ, when this idea to basically help create or partner with an NFT platform to overtake OpenSea, when that idea first hit me, it seemed like it was quite daunting.
Mm-hmm.
But the more weeks and days that have passed, the more that's come out about OpenSea, it's going to hit them when they're the very most vulnerable. You guys know their co-founder stepped down. Why do you think their co-founder stepped down? Think about it. What just happened a few weeks ago? And I told you the guy would sing like a canary and you would see person after person fall from OpenSea. Go do a little bit of research on that. A lot of you guys know what I'm talking about. OpenSea cannot get out of their own way right now. They are going to be easy prey to be pounced upon, to be wrapped up and swallowed, is what I'll say. Not talking about Nick milking the pole right now. So something different.
Leave that to Nick.
Josh Smith, are you still bullish on Seek VR? Yes, I am bullish on Seek VR. I do think it's good. I have a node on Seek VR. So it's one of the few nodes we run. We run a few, but that's definitely one of them. Very bullish. It was actually, I think, our number one gaining project of the bull run. I think it was 8,000%. So just sucked that I sold it all. I sold the initial amount that I had. But I didn't realize I still had the node running. And I went and checked the node, and the node had like 70 grand on it. And it was like just from other people. I don't know exactly what triggers the node, but people using the network basically. So earlier in July, one Twitter user demanded an explanation from OpenSea out of their marketplace, marked their asset as suspicious 88 days after purchase. Several other buyers were in the same position, said they made attempts to get their items unflagged. No customer service. Remember that statement. No customer service. OpenSea has no customer service. None of these platforms have customer service. That's going to be changing. In addition, they have asked the marketplace giant to be transparent in the process used to mark an NFT as stolen. So here we go. These are basically what happens here is if there's an investigation into your asset, it gets blacklisted and you can't sell it there. For a lot of these, that's the only place that they can sell. So
well, there's also a hack somebody mentioned because you don't know how they don't really do a lot of verification. You can just report something stolen. So it was an interesting little workaround. You go onto OpenSea, find the Bored Ape you want, report it stolen as yours. It gets marked as suspicious. The price on it drops because people aren't willing to pay as much because they think it might be stolen. You buy it for the discounted rate, go back to OpenSea, say, oh, I've recovered my stolen ape, relist it, unsuspicious now, sell it for the higher price. Repeat.
Some people are noticing there's some ads in the middle of the live. Well, you should watch those ads. And if you like those products, you should go check them out because all of that money goes right back to the community. It all goes back to Pluto Online. So get yourself a Pluto Online NFT and you actually get the money from the ads.
That's a new YouTube thing. They just started.
They just started
those. Yeah. Not just a couple weeks ago, something like that. They started putting ads in.
I'll tell you, if I did not have ad-free YouTube, I would neck. So yeah, I hate ads as much as y'all do, I promise. Stolen Bored Ape and Mutant Ape Ethereum NFTs now total over $18.5 million. Azuki, CloneX, and Moonbirds at another 6.9 million tally reported for suspicious activity. So this is kind of the same story here. Oh, this is by our friend Kate Irwin.
Hey,
Kate. Good to see you, Kate. We love Kate. So Decrypt has our favorite writers there.
Yeah, two of them.
Yeah, Kate Irwin and Jason. What's Jason's last name?
Nelson.
Jason Nelson. I saw him. Did I tell you that?
No.
I saw him at Consensus. Got to talk to him. He was there reporting. There reporting, doing an article. I love Jason. He's such a good guy. Jeff Smith says, didn't know that Coinbase would hold XRP. Did a trial run on my XRP on KuCoin to Coinbase. Absolutely. You can hold it there. You cannot trade it. Okay. Celsius. And so basically, to give you guys an idea of what is going on next week, I have been in touch with a lawyer, and this is not involving me. My lawyer, we've already got our stuff taken care of. We're already moving forward with our action. We'll talk about it more later whenever I feel like, I'm not giving secret information that Celsius doesn't need to hear. But next week, I've been in touch with an attorney who is looking at mass arbitration or possibly due to the new terms of service, maybe Celsius has just opened the door for a class action lawsuit. So if you had under 7 figures, if you had 6 figures or less, obviously most of you guys had less than 6 figures even, we are going to be directing you to this. I don't make any money from it. Absolutely no benefit to me other than helping the community. So I'll be, helping you guys connect. Should be Monday or Tuesday when I'm going to be giving that link on Twitter. And then of course I have no affiliation with the lawyer. So I can't, I can't say that, it's going to work for sure. You're going to find your money for sure. But I know people are chomping at the bit to do something And so we're going to have something for you guys to do because I took this very seriously. When I told you I was not going to let Celsius forget about this, this was not about me. I had to move my case forward first because of the way that we're doing it. Now that mine is heading in the right direction and it's moving, I don't have to do anything else. Now I can direct my attention and start sending you guys to where you need to be. So we are going to hold them accountable. And TJ, were you the one that sent me that thread yesterday?
About
the Jason Stone from Celsius?
No,
You weren't?
I don't think so.
It was a big long thread about how he's suing Celsius. He worked at Celsius, or he worked for a company that worked for Celsius.
Not me.
Basically, it's a thread. You guys can go check it out on Twitter here. The best place to check out a Twitter thread is on Twitter. Let's see where I said. I went on a rampage yesterday after I forgot to tweet, or this morning, last night. I love tweeting again. I love tweeting. It's so fun. Here it is. Basically, this says, "Hi, I'm Jason Stone from August 2020 until April 2021. I led a group of talented individuals who managed the 0xB1 address." Now, I don't know exactly what that is. I think that's just the first 4 letters of an address that Celsius might have used. I don't even really know what KeyFi is or this thing that they do. But the fact is, he had access to see everything that Celsius was doing with their money. And he says they were under the presupposition that Celsius was hedging all of the moves they were making with them somewhere else. Well, last January, they realized Celsius was not hedging anything. They were completely naked in the market. If Bitcoin had somehow plummeted down to, I'll say this, if Bitcoin had plummeted from like, let's say 42,000 straight down to like 10K, all the money on Celsius would be gone. Like literally everything would have been gone. The only reason why they've been able to pay off some of these debts and have this liquidation is because it's been staggered and it's happened slowly. If this were to have wicked, which that's a ridiculous wick, it's not going to wick that much. But you look at like pandemic crash, we did have a gigantic wick, something like that. They would have completely lost everything. They had zero hedge against these crazy DeFi plays they were doing with everybody's money. And this is what Jason Stone alleges. And he is now suing Celsius. He's actually been in process trying to work this out with him. He said since last January when he pulled out because they were, the stuff they were doing was absolutely insane. So Trevor says XRP Army buy XRP on Sologenic Dex. You can't Banxa on right. We're going to be talking about Banxa today. So we'll cover that here in just a second. And, also check out onXRP.com. That's what Kaj Leroy was on here talking about. And I did have somebody say they might have had an issue with it. So, look, we're working with Kaj on some stuff. Seems like a great guy. I think you can trust it, but I'm not putting my name behind any of that stuff right now to say definitely go use it. But it is an interesting option at this point. And if it works and it works well for a while and, build some trust, then I got no problem, sending people over there. But let's go back to the Celsius story here. Celsius paid back entire loan to Maker, reclaiming nearly 22,000 Bitcoin in collateral. Now, did this article say how many Bitcoin they had in collateral here? Let me see. BTC? No, it doesn't. Okay. So I don't know how much total they had, but they paid an additional 41.2 million back. They got 450 million worth of BTC locked up as collateral on the protocol. So this means out of this loan, they got 22,000 back that they have liquid now. Now, here's the question. Why yesterday did they send a bunch to FTX? Did you see that?
Mm-mm.
Supposedly, I think if I remember the tweet correctly, people were saying that yesterday after this happened, that they had, or maybe it was early this morning, because I said I was up at 5 for a couple hours. They basically sent money to FTX.
The Bitcoin.
Some of the Bitcoin.
Probably to sell it.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
Of course.
Yeah. That's who they used to sell their stuff before.
Mm-hmm.
So they're using this to liquidate and pay off other debts.
I definitely don't want anybody to think you're getting your money back at this point. No. Don't think you're getting your money back. You need to be operating as if you're not getting the money back.
Yeah, this is typical what they were saying, consolidation of a bankrupting company. You take out your smaller debts that you can, roll it all up, consolidate it, and then just like, all right, this is what we can't repay. And then you go bankrupt.
Ben, are you keeping up on XRP's mixed up letter non-related cousin XPR? I haven't looked at XPR in a while. We sold that in the portfolio. Like I said, we consolidated down. We've consolidated even more at this point. Not quite ready to do a portfolio video. Obviously, the Celsius thing hurt us pretty bad. And I don't like looking at the numbers right now. That's really the only reason why we're doing it. But don't worry, we did diversify. We're completely safe as a company. I saw some people on here talking about we're poor and we have no money, and yada. That's not true. We were smart with our money. I can tell you this for sure. We were way more responsible with our money than Celsius, than Voyager, than Three Arrows Capital, than Vald. Way more responsible with the money than that. So sets us up pretty good for the next bull run. Voyager's second largest debtor, ready to return loan with no rush to recover collateral. It's talking about FTX, I guess, right? After crypto brokerage firm Voyager Digital made headlines after filing for Chapter 11 as a result of the recent market crash, one of its largest debtors said it was ready to return its loan and collect collateral. Interestingly, Alameda, which is Alameda Research, company behind FTX, Lotus Solana. This is Sam Bankman-Fried. He is Alameda Research. He says it's not just Voyager's major debtor, it's also one of the largest shareholders with more than a 9% stake, according to Bloomberg's Yuki Yang and Olga Karif. So we know there's a lot of sketchy stuff going on with this. I'm not going to really go into too much what's happening right now in this story because I think it's still developing. I think once we get a little more clarity on this, I think there will be major news coming out about this. I did see that somebody in the super chat said FTX and Celsius are colluding. I'm not going to make that accusation at this point. Celsius can do whatever they want over there without colluding, but I definitely wouldn't rule that out totally as well. So, been sitting on the sidelines. I wish we were sitting more on the sidelines than we are. That's what I'll tell you. onXRP partners up with Banxa. This is what we were talking about yesterday or 2 days ago. onXRP partners up with Banxa. XRP can now be purchased via bank card and Apple Pay. So if you are looking for a place to buy crypto, to buy XRP because it's hard to buy in a lot of places, here we go. This is the place, and this is not an ad. I have no affiliation with this. We are working with Kaj on some NFT stuff, but I'm not going to sit here and tell you this is 100% safe because it's not my company. So take what the article says with a grain of salt. I certainly think it sounds like a good option. When he debuted this on our show, I actually was like, wow, that's really cool. I wish I had thought of that. But we are not affiliated with this company at all. onXRP, one of the fastest growing XRP ledger built projects, announced the deployment of the Banxa fiat on-ramp solution into its ecosystem. So obviously they announced this on our show. I don't know if you guys know this, but this was actually initially announced for the first time on our show a couple days ago. It is also important to note that XRP is available for purchase for fiat on XRP. Currently, the DEX section of the XRP website, or of the onXRP website, includes the decentralized exchange itself, the XRP Avalanche Bridge, the DeFi or on AVAX section, we talked about that as well, which was also recently introduced, and the cash section where users purchase XRP for fiat. It says by its name, it looks very intriguing. It has a swap section. So there you go. I do think this is something, if you're in the XRP army, first of all, throw it up, throw the XRP up, throw the X up. Really excited to continue with what we're doing with XRP in the community. Had a guy trolling me the other day, some loser XRP creator, claiming I'm not the master and commander of the XRP army. I beg to differ. Throw the X up if I'm the master. Please do it. That's all tongue in cheek, of course. We are certainly a big proponent of the XRP ecosystem. And I'm telling you, eventually, when we announce what we're doing, you are going to see we are going to be legendary in the XRP community. There is no doubt about that. And certain people will not be getting invites. I will tell you that. You look like a clown with no makeup. Okay, so here we go. Moving on here. European Union regulating firm Banking Circle adopts USD stablecoin. Big shocker. Banking Circle, a European bank focused on cross-border transaction, is adopting a major US dollar peg stablecoin for payment rails. Interesting, isn't it? Interesting. We talked earlier about rolling out tests. Maybe this is that. Banking Circle has chosen USDC because it has the biggest relevance to our clients at this point. Why? Because they have exposure to USDC because they know this is becoming the digital dollar in the next 5 years. The firm also offers services in other European countries, such as the UK, operating under limited supervision of the UK Financial Conduct Authority. So there you go. Reddit announced launch of NFT-based avatar marketplace. I don't know. When is Avatar 2 coming out? I'm not even sure. That was a joke. Spain's, but when is that movie coming out?
Is that really a movie?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't
When's
know.
that movie coming out? I'm going to look it up.
I'm over here. Riddle with puns said, isn't a clown with no makeup just a person?
His hair looks like he's a clown. I'll
Gotcha.
say that. The hair really ties
Maybe
it
he's
together.
got big shoes.
Yeah, it looks like he like wants to be the Crow from the movie The Crow back in like the early 90s or mid 90s or whenever that was. He's a knockoff wannabe Brandon Lee. Rest in peace, Brandon Lee, by the way. But you know, he definitely looks very similar to like Joaquin Phoenix in The Joker if he had no makeup on. Not an easy look on the eyes, I'll tell you that. Yeah, so part 2 is coming out 2022. Let's see. Avatar 2's long runtime. When is it coming out? Let me just Google that. When does Avatar 2 come out? It says this year. When does Avatar 2 come out? December 16th. I got it first. Chump. AJ, sit out.
I think we got it at the same time.
Doesn't sound too bad. Okay. Last story of the day. Spain's largest bank, Santander, to hold digital award ceremony in the metaverse. So there you go. And you guys know Ripple and Santander have a very close relationship. This is one of the reasons why I know Ripple's going to take off. Santander is a large bank. It's got a lot of ties to a lot of things, is what I will say. All right, let's go ahead and move on to Q&A. We'll wrap this puppy up.
Yeah, first question from Bobby. Q&A, you think it's a conflict of interest that SBF is buying and bailing crypto exchanges and now allegedly bought Ledger?
No, I don't. I think that's the way smart business works.
Yeah.
That's what I would say. Good on him for doing that. I can't speak to his motives, but I don't think that's a conflict of interest. They're two different industries, hardware and exchanges. And you know, obviously, if you want to be a smart businessman, then you got to take advantage of opportunities. I think it's good. Eat the 2,500 by Valentine's 2023 prediction, BitBoy prediction. What is my Valentine's Day prediction for Ethereum? I'm gonna say $2,000 by Valentine's Day. I think that might make sense if we bottom out in November. ETH merge happens. I think it could be back at 2,000, but that doesn't mean it'll stay at 2,000. It could go back down to 1,500 or so again. But we should see the bottom by the end of the month. Shaq with the combo says BitBoy is thick. Okay, I like it.
Thoughts on ETH moving to proof of stake, going green and all is fine, but seeing the numerous outages and the token dumping of proof of stake chains recently, do you think proof of work is more battle tested and hardened?
It's an interesting question, actually, when you really think about it, because obviously we have not seen any outages for Ethereum, but it has been proof of work, and that has been the big difference between it and all its competitors. So, you know, I'm not sure. I'd have to really think about that a lot more. Maybe talk to some developers on that. Maybe get Tim Biko on the show at some point to answer that question, because I think that is a good question. But I don't look going proof of stake they're not doing it because it's greener. Okay, that is a plus, a pro of it compared to Bitcoin, but that's not why it's doing it. It's doing it because of the insane gas fees, the amount of transactions, how long time takes. Now, the gas fees are going to be directly affected by ETH2. That comes with the sharding. But it's doing it to solve the congestion problems is why it's doing it. It's not doing it because, it wants to go green. That's just like, we're doing this.
Headline.
So also, let's say it's going green. That's the kind of thing. So I think Ethereum 2 is going to take off. I've been very clear on the record. I think Ethereum will always be number one. Cardano, obviously number one competitor. Polkadot maybe some potential. Heard some negative stuff about Polkadot recently from people that have heard me make that argument and say, well, the parachains aren't going to be equipped to compete with Cardano or Ethereum. I don't know that for sure yet. That is what some people are saying.
Let me ask you this. This is another question, probably the last one. We'll wrap it up from the basement. Do you see a layer one like Polkadot going away completely? They haven't made a lot of progress or partnerships recently.
Was bear market.
Yeah.
Right. So they may have stuff they're saving for more bullish time. Because look, a lot of these projects, they need the price of the coin to go up to be able to pay developers and to be able to keep their foundations going and entice projects. The parachain auctions, they've got to pay big money to get those. How many of these companies are going to have big money in the bear market to sign up for more parachains? I would say this. I would say Polkadot can certainly fail. Polkadot can certainly fail. It is not to the place yet where I feel confident saying it won't fail. Ethereum, Cardano, I'm very confident saying neither one of them will fail. I'm very confident saying Cosmos will not fail. It may not be the biggest, but I think Cosmos is also going to do really, really well in terms of usage and utility Polkadot is not to that stage yet. And that's why I keep Polkadot on a lower level, because it's got a lot of high potential, because we haven't seen what it can do yet fully. So if we do turn towards some more Polkadot interest, we are good friends with Crypto's Chain. Maybe we get him on the channel one day to talk about Polkadot stuff. I don't think it'll be soon because people aren't interested right now. But if that Polkadot interest comes back, he's an expert on that community, has always been focused on Polkadot. We'll bring him back on the show one day. So, okay.
And then last question, do you still have a Cardano pool?
Yeah, we do. If you go to bitboycrypto.com, which we are changing the website soon, by the way, you guys will see a different. This fat mother. Okay, sorry. Got my fat face up there. This picture's almost 3 years old. Okay. Look how good I look. Look how good money makes you look.
Oh, man.
Look, this is not really that bad of a picture of me. There's way worse pictures of me on the internet. But we're going to be updating a lot of the stuff. We're adding in a new color of green, I think, to things to spice things up. The gray is just so bland at this point.
Yeah, I picked the green.
But if you go to the deals page, which we're getting rid of the deals page soon, this will be a totally different look. But right now, if you do want to stake, you can go here to the Bit pool, click that, and it'll take you straight to staking. And I want to be clear, staking is very, 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 very unsafe done on a third party. On-chain staking seems to be safe as long as the network doesn't go down, right? As long as there's not a huge hack on the network itself. So something like when we're talking about an ADA staking pool, this is on-chain, therefore it's safe. This is not with a third party. You're not coming to us and saying, here's my Cardano, do something with it, and then pay it back to me and pay me back more money, which is what Celsius and BlockFi and those people do. So, all right, guys, I think that is all we got for the show today. Don't put yourself down, Ben, from Kurt Eicher. He's been in the chat for a long time. We love you, Kurt. Look, I'm not putting myself down. I'm just saying I'm very proud of what I've done over the last year. When that picture was taken, by the way, when you look at this picture here of me, what you should hopefully see is someone that was working 70 to 80 hours a week that had no time to take care of himself while I was building this for you guys. So now got a little more free time, a little more serious at the gym, taking stuff, what I eat a lot better. And, we're trying to take care of ourselves. So we'll be around for the next bull run or the next, 10 bull runs. So, and I encourage everybody to do the same. If you've got some time, make sure you're taking care of yourself. That's all I got. I love you guys. Have a great weekend. Be blessed. Good boy out.